Hi, beautiful Tauruses. Tauruses, does that makes sense, right? This is the reading for April for all Taurus signs, and that could be your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, definitely Mercury. These are the two planets that have been retrograde and still are as I'm doing this reading, and will be through like half of April, well, the 12th officially, and then building from there. I'm Marianne. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for the new viewers that are taking a chance. I appreciate that very much. I love all the viewers that are interested in my energy and my interpretation of the tarot and the meanings that come through, as well as my own intuitive hits and downloads that come through from Spirit for me. And so I've got to mention one thing for you, beautiful Taurus. And that is that, you know, you're an earth sign, and you've been, I think, affected quite a bit with the Venus retrograde, seeing as that has and is your ruling planet, as it is Libra's. So as I'm reading this for the month of April, the planets that are retrograde, which are Mercury and Venus, are still in effect. But I do want to also say that I had a longer version of your reading, and I decided I'm going to use that as a bonus reading for you, because at the end of April, well, April 20th, you have your sun season coming. And I realized, and I've been sitting with this quite a bit, as I've been very introspective during these retrogrades, which is what they're about. I do a collective every week reading, and that's for all signs, it's general. And that is the time that I have been doing and will continue to do more specific astrological, tarot placements, and a deeper dive, if you will. And it's lengthy, and I'm a talker, and it's not a secret. Never claim to be, although I can be very quiet. This isn't the time, so I like to express as much as I can. However, for the monthly readings, we're going to get right into your reading. What about that? So what I do is I start with a chakra check that Spirit would like you to know about for the month of April. It doesn't mean anything has to be wrong. It could be that everything is fabulous, but it's just the emphasis on that chakra, which is the energy centers that reside in our bodies and create all sorts of beautiful balance and energy and wholeness, if you will. You know, the mind, body, and spirit, holistic look at our lives and our energies. So this was the last one pulled, and I'm going to put it right on top, and I'm going to do a little shuffle under the table, and then I'll bring it back up and I'll read to you specifically what the message is on it, which I think is super helpful and useful to help to alleviate any kind of restraint or blockages you may be feeling in the area of this particular chakra. Okay, so shuffle a couple more times. As I had my meditation with you, Taurus, today, for the second time, green came to mind as far as the energetic color. This association with my colors and the energies, which everything is, has a lot to do with the chakras as well. And this represents the heart chakra. Okay, and as I mentioned, you know, with Venus still retrograde, but going direct after about 6 weeks, as well as Mercury retrograde for 3 weeks, all direct and going stationing direct. It's powerful, it's heart-centered. Venus is about our love and our passion. It's about sensuality. It's about our relationships, all relationships. So I feel like a lot of us, and certainly Tauruses in particular, have really been thinking about that probably more than you may have in the past. Many different reasons for that, many forms of relationships. But the messages will bring forth even more information. And you have the chakra, which is the second chakra, known as the sacral chakra. As they start from the base upward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and then the last being eighth, which is the all connected, one mind, one consciousness chakra. You know, we're all in this together. We are a collective. And I love this one so much. It's interesting because it does, in my opinion, kind of absolutely correlate with the energies of Venus. This is the second chakra that has to do with our vitality, our sensuality, our sexuality, our pleasurement, and also our creativity, the juices that flow from that, and how we just get this creative idea or expression and want to just spread it out into the world. And here we are in Aries season, and it started on the spring equinox, which is wonderful because Aries is a fire sign, but it's also the cardinal element that represents the astrological sign that brings forth a season. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So there's this leadership and confidence and vitality, and a fire sign that's just motivated and spirited and action oriented. And that's a lot of what this represents with the second chakra. So I'm excited about that, and how that'll probably be feeling even more so as everything stations direct, like I said, in the month of April. So congratulations on that. Let me read to you what it says. And it does say that the second chakra, effervescent creativity sparkles from my being. My life's path is clear and founded in love, respect, and adventure. How exciting is that? Now, it's also, for most of us, we know, here in the Northern Hemisphere with spring, which is just, today is an amazing day. It's reached past the degrees of 75 degrees. Hallelujah. Excuse my throat, by the way, another disclaimer. I guess, who knew? I guess I may have allergies. I've not had them in the past. It's not horrible, but it's affecting my throat. I have my water over here. Forgive me if I have to clear my throat. It's nothing serious at all. I'm just rolling with the punches, as they say, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I did hear it was probably a little bit more of a notoriously difficult allergy season, so maybe that is why I'm picking up on it. I don't know, but we'll get through it all. And I love this. I love this, and this is a feeling that you can say and speak of over and over to even emphasize this chakra during April and forever, as far as I'm concerned. Every chakra in our body is essential and necessary. So let me do then the next part of this, which is correlating the appropriate crystal with it. And then I put it in my necklace and I infuse the readings with that. And that's going to be the beautiful carnelian crystal. I mean, crystals are so amazing. I want to bring on many more and talk about that for a lot of the people I know, myself included, that are very interested in their properties and how they can heal us and strengthen us and provide extra energies of, protection and so forth. So the sacral chakra's words specifically are creativity, pleasure, and joy. The carnelian, I share my gifts with the world with both ease and grace. I have the power to create change. We absolutely do. You are an earth sign, Taurus, so there's this grounded, stable, very strong drive in you that wants to use all of your senses to be able to create the life you want and to feel the comforts you want and to work hard and plan and really, really just be extremely dedicated. You're a fixed sign. So when you have a destination or an idea in mind, you are set on it, okay? And that's in all areas of your life. So this is beautiful. I like this right off the bat. This is the one, like I said, for April, but it could be for all of your life to recognize is a very integral part of who you are and what keeps you ticking. I'll set that right there for you. I will put in the carnelian crystal because I have the whole gamut over here of all the different crystals that represent each and every chakra. But this beautiful carnelian is really pretty. It reminds me of a jelly bean in a way, but it also has a couple of really cool little darker spots and things. So there's a very big variety in all the different crystals. Well, a lot of them can be very similar, but the shapes and the forms and the beauty of them is just a miracle to me, and how they grow in this earth, and people just, they mine for them, and they are very much activate us in our energies. So did I just put that back? Yes, I did. Okay, multitasking is not, not my forte. I used to be a lot better at it, but it's kind of overrated, right? So I'll stick this in here. I will wear it, as I said, to infuse the reading. And we're going to get on with your reading. Now, I am going to be using this beautiful golden laced, I call it, deck that is called the Art Nouveau Tarot deck. Every single card has the beautiful bright gold infused energy, which is absolutely perfect for spring, for summer, and any time of the year. But unfortunately, that's not what happens with a lot of the seasons. So I have actually shuffled these before, and I do ask and pray for concise, clear messages that I can express then on to you for the highest good of everybody involved. And I'm going to be doing the Celtic Cross layout. For those that are new, hopefully you will find this interesting in the way that it has different areas of our life, and then the energies and the reading that can explain a lot of that. The first card will be the overall energy. It is known as the center card that kind of permeates the entire reading, but almost the focal point in a way, but all of the positions are equally as important. And you have, there you go. You have the King of Cups. So without, like I said, going through too much of anything else other than your reading, there are things that enter into it as far as astrology goes, just because that's represented in the card. One of the things being that the cups represent the water signs: Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And this is the element that represents our feelings, our emotions, our moods, our ability to sense and feel things. There's many water signs that are very in tune with their intuition and their psychic abilities. We have just finished both of the eclipses as we are in eclipse season. The first was the full moon on the 14th in Virgo. That is the south node for the next 18 months. And that's about releasing, when it's the south node, the parts of us that we want to let go of and so forth. And it was powerful and big. And I got some beautiful information I was waiting for, which is the culmination aspect of a full moon at all. Lunar eclipses, though, being the moon, and of course the full moon lunar eclipse, they're 10 times more powerful than a normal full moon. If you looked at it and saw it, which is why I talk about the moon so much and how clearly its gravitational pull does affect us. It always has. It affects the tides. Any water sign in particular, but the north node for the next 18 months is in Pisces. And that is representing this energy right here. So you're feeling it quite strongly. Now, I know for a fact, I've known a lot of Tauruses, but I have a sibling that's a Taurus, and you definitely base a lot of your beliefs and your feelings from nature, from the earth, from the natural law of the land, if you will, or laws of the universe. You sense them. You have incredible intuition. Once again, you're ruled by Venus. So there's this delight in everything, in what you see, feel, touch, smell, and know, okay, the six senses. So this is great. And the power of the king is unmatched in the sense of its maturity. There's an ease. He's sitting with grace with his cup held high. I call it a chalice. And all the while, there's the ocean, or the whatever the water representation. It is emotion, in as far as what is the term? I'm not thinking of it, but metaphorically. But also it's the fact that while sitting amongst, the waves and the currents and so forth that are constantly happening as the tides come in and out and such, there's this grace and this poise and this ability to handle it and to be at peace with it and to have matured to a place where you are at peace with your emotions, whether they be internal or external. A lot of times I find water signs can keep things in, and this may be somebody of very great importance to you, okay? In addition to the feeling that you are feeling the Piscean energy, which is love and absolute compassion, selflessness, creativity, art, intuitive, just, it's going to be like that for the next 18 months for the whole universe, for the whole collective. But for you being an earth sign, Taurus, the element of water in Taurus is extremely compatible. So I like that right off the bat. And it feels good to you, I'm sure, with a lot of this retrograde motion and the internalization and everything, to finally feel at peace with that, feel like with this new direction and the new moon and the Aries and the fire energy that you're ready. I didn't mention, but Mars is the ruling planet of Aries, the season we're in right now, and the sign Aries. And it is and has been in Cancer. So that's another indication of why this beautiful main energy for you is you being very much in tune with all that. I love that a lot. Now, crossing this card is going to be your, what is this? It's not the hopes and fears. It's the blessings or blocks. And there's a difference, right? So I'm going to set that up, and my goodness, you've got the Six of Pentacles. There you are. Now, I love this card because 6, in my opinion, well, it represents the 6th house. It represents a need for balance. Everyday activities is the 6th house, and the natal chart, or the chart that represents the tropical Western astrology. You know, there are whole house signs, and each house represents a different part of your life, whether it be your home life, your work life, your educational life, your, friend life, and so on and so forth. You know, it goes around the entire astrological wheel, and each house has a representation of each particular sign. So the 6th house is definitely Pisces. It represents Pisces. Well, Pisces is from the 8th house. Forgive me, the 12th house. But depending on your sign, and I'm actually including mine, forgive me for that. As a Libra, the Pisces indications fall in my 6th house. And so it is a need for balance, and your work and home life, your love and personal life, and so on and so forth. But it's also this indication that there shows a person helping others less fortunate. There you go again with that incredible Piscean energy shining through for us all, touching our heartstrings to where we want to be of service or help or in charity of some way. You notice that there's an equal give and take. There's the 3 coins and then the 3 in front and the 3 behind. It's imperative, and something I haven't learned for many, many years, to make sure that you have enough for yourself in order to help somebody else. The idea of giving everything is beautiful in some ways, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that doesn't even sound like something you would do anyway, Taurus. You are known also as the money sign. So you are doing very well with your ability. You see the scales and the balance aspect there I mentioned. Just wanting to feel more altruistic, I guess, or what is the term when you're doing something that is, I don't know what that word is. I think it must be the Mercury retrograde. It's still pretty much in effect for me, certainly on the mind, and it does affect our minds, our communication, transportation, or technology. But you understand what I'm saying. It's about being selfless, and it's about, charity, non-profit organizations for the sake of just doing, not for the notoriety aspect, okay? And I love that. That's a blessing. It's only a block if you feel like it's not equal in some way. And if it isn't, that's when you need to really go forward with this Aries energy of like, okay, that's not working. This is going to be better. Let's change it and let's do it now. And having that confidence and that power and that strength to do so, which I know you have in spades, Taurus. So that's really cool. Going on, we have the foundational card, which is exactly that. And that is in the area of your life that, you want things to be stable and set and secure. It refers to the base chakra as well. In the very first chakra, that's about our stability, our grounded area. Once again, it is in relation to the earth energy. It's the closest. It's about our feet on the ground, if you will, and feeling, Yeah, feeling stable. And you have the devil. Well, the devil represents, it's a major arcana, and it definitely represents the sign of Capricorn. So that's your fellow earth sign. And you know, Saturn has a big part of the last part of the last week in particular in March, but definitely follows through strongly with it changing signs from Pisces into Aries in May, I believe, and another huge change from Neptune being in Pisces into Aries on the 30th of March that just occurred. What's my point? Sometimes when there's changes that are that radical, and especially with earth signs who aren't fond of change that much, there is a fear that comes with that. The point I'm not going to get away from is that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and that was what was initially being spoken of. Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn keeps us on track. A lot of people have ill feelings about that sort of lifestyle. Like, I want more, I don't want to be restricted. I don't want to have to do exact blah, blah, you know, follow something to a T or whatever. And listen, you can argue and you can fight it, but when Saturn is in the picture, it's always for our highest good. It's like getting an education, and you knowing you have to go to school and you have to do the homework and you have to put in the work to be able to get that degree. And of course, it's not necessarily fun, and it requires diligence and, you know, dedication. But I think that rings really strong for you on a regular basis anyway, Taurus. So you're just probably feeling more in tune with that energy in a more positive way. Like, this is my life. I've always done this, and it's served me well because I end up doing what I need to do. You look at the big picture and you recognize that, yeah, I'm on the track, and I see the big picture as far as what my future will be. And I know I want this and I know I want that, but I know I have to put forth the effort type of thing. Okay. So I love that for your foundation, and it doesn't have to be a scary thing. If it does involve fears, that's what you need to do, is when you sit with yourself and you say, I'm going to eliminate these fears. I'm going to create my belief system. I'm going to write this down, that new intentions from the moon. Lunar eclipse can last in our energies for 6 months until the next series, which is in September. So bear that in mind. And if you haven't written intentions for the most recent Aries final eclipse for years, you know, in the series of the Aries Libra from the last 18 months, this is the time to just write stuff down and know you don't have to, you can overcome your fear and put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and just know that you are on the right track. You are always being guided. Now we're going into the recent past position, and this is going to be it's the Page of Swords. Now, I recently heard a reader saying another definition. There's so many different explanations and definitions to the card, but first and foremost, it is an air sign. And an air sign is about their mind and their thoughts and their ability to communicate. They're excellent at communicating. They love to learn. They love to study and excel. A lot of times this represents people in institutions that we go to for advice and help, such as doctors, teachers, lawyers. This is the page. So the page is the beginning, and it's the new, and it's sometimes information that we weren't necessarily expecting, but it's truthful and it has to come forth. And that's nothing to be afraid of either. And that's probably already happened because it's in your recent past. So moving ahead, we'll be able to tell what that really means, and it'll add more to the flavor and the understanding of the energies of the reading. However, I can tell you the air elements are the Aquarians, the Geminis, and the Libras. And as I said, Libra being a Venus ruled sign as yourself, maybe a lot of this information has been held back and it's been delayed and so forth, with the retrogrades always happening that way, right? That too is changing, as I said. So what you haven't heard yet, or what might be the beginning of an idea or a conversation, will definitely have far more concrete information as April goes forward. So then we have the possible future card, and that is the, oh, I love it, the Page of Wands. Wow. Well, there's 2 pages. So I have a couple more things to say about that. Once again, it's the beginning. It's the fire energy that we're all going to experience with this beautiful, beautiful season of Aries. Spring equinox, that Aries represented as a cardinal that brought it and ushered it in for us. The new moon eclipse that lasts for months. More signs and more, planets changing into Aries. So it's new, it's forward movement, it's positivity, it's leadership, it's confidence, it's effectiveness, it's fiery, it's passionate. All the good stuff, right? So it also represents youth. So it could be talk about conversations with your children, maybe in focus now. The talk of having children, maybe being with somebody that you care a great deal about, that's a fire sign, or, there's the definite indication of, information from an air sign. But the fire signs being the Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. A lot more coming with that, with, Leo season coming in a couple of months or so. And Mars going back into Aries, fired up, excited, movement. I can't say it enough, right? This is good, but it could also, like I said, be the preparation for an addition to the family. And if it's not an actual human, it could be a beautiful furry friend and family member that you incorporate. And I will tell you, with Pisces and other aspects, there is talk of a lot more influencing having to do with the positioning, of course, of the planets and adopting animals and stuff. So stay tuned if that's not something in your vernacular right now and that's something you've been talking about. Don't be surprised. Or like I said, and I have said, this is being in touch with your inner child, which means having fun, getting out and doing things. My goodness, it's been a cold winter here. I mean, not as cold as other places, I know, but it sure felt really cold, and it's still not really warm. Today's phenomenal, and it is spring, but we're building back up to that. So, just getting out, going, planning those vacations, making things happen for yourself, having a good time. Never losing sight of that fun part of life, all right? Things can be far too serious at times. And so the future, immediate future, I should say, is, oh my gosh, you've got 3 pages. So to me, it's not an ace. It's not like the beginning per se, but it's an initiation. It's a conversation. It's the beginning of what could be something so profound and building and lasting for your life, because that's how you look at things anyway. You don't do things just on a whim. You want it for the steady, you're in for the long haul. You're just that type of a personality, with this element being of earth. But it is the Page of Cups, and that's the emotions, that's love, that's fun, that's caring. I mean, to me, with 3 pages, it could have to do with 3 different youthful children in your life. Yes, people that you hang out with that are just younger at heart, because it makes you feel better and they make you laugh. And it's fun, like I said, to have that fun and to keep that alive. It's information that could be just having to do with either a creative project, absolute work endeavor, or, messages about the people you may want to involve yourself with, or information that you would need to write down in order to have a contract of some sort. That would be essential. You always need that when you want to enter into anything with another person or a partnership of sorts. There's so many variables here that's coming through for you, and that's because of the new energy and the transformations that people right and left all around me are saying. Marianne, I just changed my occupation. I just left this place. I'm moving here. My neighbor of 30 years, she was gone. It just came and she was gone. And I don't know, it's great. It's great for so many reasons. And it's something that comes out of nowhere, when we don't expect it, but that's what eclipses do. They bring in things quickly. They take things away quickly. The story goes on for months to keep learning and evolving and growing to the best of our, abilities. So we'll move on to this, what I call the stem of the Celtic cross. I'll set this over here a little bit. I probably should start doing that now, just at the beginning, remembering that the room is a little bit limited, but not so much that we can't get through it. So then we have this card, which I like to call the perspective card, because you're kind of seeing this whole reading, your life in general. You've had a lot of time to be contemplating, I'll tell you that much, right? And you felt that. Even when you wanted to move forward, there were things that were just not letting that happen, and you knew that, and you thought, okay, I'm going to let this go, take time to myself, get my rest. A lot of people have had lack of rest with these eclipses. And for you, you have, whoo, the Lovers. Major Arcana. Let me do something quickly here. I didn't do it with the other. I've got to cover this up. Yeah, 2 Lovers. This is a perfect selection. So, interestingly enough, the Devil in its own right has a similar look to it. It's the main person, angel, what have you, you know, or the opposite, the devil, right? Making that fear versus trust and all those things that go through our human mind, you know, as spirits in a human body. It's recognizing that sometimes we chain ourselves to circumstances. We don't need to be doing that, in the reference of the devil as well, which is part of the whole fear. But recognizing that and letting yourself know that will not occur. I'm done with that kind of thing. I am keeping a strong foundation that keeps me content in all ways and all aspects of my life. So I love this for you. It's another 6, which you had with the Pentacles. There's something very important, and if it's not a romance, it is absolutely a partnership, and you have several indications that new ideas and people and circumstances are coming through to make that occur. Not surprising, right? With the new energy and the brand new beginnings for the 2025, as astrology actually starts in March. And so then we go on to the environment, and you have the Queen of Swords. Talk about absolute straightforward intervention, inclination, I'll just use that word, of direct and straightforward information that's necessary. Fair, just, you know, this is, it's once again, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And Libra is the other element and sign that is like you in the way that you are both Venus ruled. And a lot of times, you know, Taurus and Libra are together as a couple, a relationship, a partnership, because they have that fundamental interest in love and beauty and happiness and fairness and all those things, right? And money and the beautiful things that it can help us to acquire, right? And just, yeah, this is interesting to me, very interesting. Somebody with air trace, at least, is in your environment. You may have air placements yourself. And I'd love to know if you'd be so kind as to let me know. And if you like what you're hearing and you're resonating at all, please do me a big favor and just click that like and subscribe button. I'm on a quest to reach my first $1,000. There's $1,000. That's so funny. Oh, I love it. First 1,000 subscribers. And you could be a big part of that, you know, and all you have to do is do that simple pushing of the button if it's what you're feeling, and for no other reason, okay? But super, super helpful. And that's what YouTube needs to see for me to continue to grow. So putting that out there, yes, this could definitely be some very, very pertinent and important information that you've been waiting for. Coming in your environment to just set that last part of this, whatever it is, and the information and the newness of it, just to set it straight and on track for April. Okay, I'm excited for you. That is exactly in line with the kind of energies that we all want to be feeling and what you clearly will be experiencing. So then we have the hopes and fears, and you have the 3 of Cups, and that is a celebratory, beautiful energy. And there are the cups again. That's the emotions of happiness. And I know we all haven't been our most happiest in the last 3 or so months, and things come in even when we are. But I'll tell you what, you're ready to celebrate now. I would only ask that you don't over celebrate, okay? Because we're still in this, like I said, the throes of the retrograde through the 12th, and then as it builds up. So sometimes, you know, we get a little overzealous. And with the effects of the eclipses, it can be a really important time, seriously, to make sure you're really watching your health, getting your rest, getting your hydration. This comes to mind with that too. Not a doctor, but just, you know, reflecting on the messages and the importance of water, you know, and taking those showers that really cleanse you of any kind of extra stress through the day. I've been doing that at night now, especially. Man, that works wonders. It's miraculous, actually. So that's a sensual thing that really works for you too, Taurus. And finishing this, we'll have the outcome card. Wow. I am so happy for you right now. It's been a little bit of a ride. I know it has. And you've got the sun, and that is the most vibrant, beautiful star in the galaxy, first and foremost. It does represent Leo. Leo is so powerful, and a fire sign as well. But you are just ready for the sun. You're ready for the sun for vitamin D reasons. You're ready for the sun because you want to get away and you want to do stuff, which you don't normally do, but you're feeling more inclined to now. You've had a chance to realize, maybe I do work too much. Maybe I'm thinking too much about money. Maybe I need to just absolutely go out there and enjoy myself. That brings in so much more to a person's life when they allow themselves to be free and have fun and just take in the rays. Go in your garden, whatever it means to you. A fabulous outcome, and not at all surprising to me, and definitely deserved. So that is the Celtic cross, and I will tell you, I'm loving everything, and I don't even mind this devil because it's your energy of earth and success and, you know, dedication with that Saturn, which is really what it's making me feel. All the while recognizing if you're fearful, that you can overcome that. It is in our mind a lot of times. We don't know what's really coming ahead. And a lot of times we perceive to think we do. And, you know, you may have intuition and great psychic ability. But even with that, you can also recognize that you are always being divinely guided. And that you want the best and the most. And that's all you need to put out there. And that's what can come back. Okay? And not to confuse in any way that you would want anything but that. So I'm going to also read to you a couple of, well, actually three. I'm going to pull 3 of the Wisdom of the Oracle messages for you in closing, and to say, I absolutely love this. I am over the moon excited about the energies coming and the changes that are going to be just humongous for all of us. And humongous is a word. That's what it is. So keep that in mind. Keep your incredible, beautiful, giving, grounded energy that you give so very well. And trust in the process, please, because it's only getting better. And the first card says, time for a nap. So I had gotten this, to be honest, with Aries, and I shuffled it. And apparently you have been lacking sleep because of these. I don't know. I have too. I get back to sleep and I just get to sleep earlier the next night, but it's real. Eclipses absolutely can affect that. So just being aware of that. It's 24, which equals 6 yet again. So that's your third 6, need for balance. Okay. And know that with that comes a lot of really beautiful, exciting energy of things to come. Second card, exchanging gifts. Well, this is interesting because I got both of these and I did shuffle. Let me shuffle it one more time after, but I love it. There's a reason why this is happening again. And with your birthday season coming up, for sure, it's a special magical time too. Write down intentions you want for your birthday because they generally come through. You are favored in your month of your solar return. And I think it's very, very welcome to you. So let me do this just in case, and you'll know that it was definitely kind of interesting that would come up, but I like it and it's meant for you as well. It's really that simple. So then the last one is imagine. Oh, I love that. That's 20. That is imagining and creating and manifesting, writing down whatever it is you do. Vision boards come to mind. Just the 20. There's the 2. There's the imagine the best partnership, the best loves, the best creative endeavors you can imagine with, a friend. It doesn't have to be love that way. Self-love, self-creation, you know, endurance, all the beautiful energies you could possibly muster and create for yourself. When you imagine it, you know, but you have to see it and you have to absolutely feel it. I love and appreciate you being here. I really do. This is, it's always been my passion and it's not going to stop. But I do like the idea of just kind of capsulizing this and making it as straightforward as I can for your monthly reading. Have a beautiful, beautiful April. I would love to see you again in May. Do stop and watch your, once again, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury placements as well. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye for now.